The teeth and skull of T-Rex or the teeth and skull of Giganotosaurus. Hey everyone, Mike here with Prehistoric Magazine. Welcome back to another video. Thank you for being here with me. Now, over the years on the internet, if you've been following this type of stuff, you know that there are plenty of people talking about Giganotosaurus versus T-Rex. There's also, those talking about Spinosaurus versus T-Rex. We like to set up these type of mythical battles. Now, this is not one of those videos in regards to a mythical battle, but I am comparing the two animals. It doesn't get any more famous than T-Rex. I'll be honest, as a kid, I didn't necessarily appreciate the animal as much as I should. I always appreciated the lesser known animals, the lesser known theropods, the lesser known sauropods. But as I've grown in time, I've learned to appreciate T-Rex, and it is well deserved of its name, the tyrant lizard. But this video, nonetheless, is about if you were building the ultimate land predator, what design would you rather have? Would you rather have the T-Rex blueprint for the skull and the jaws? Or would you rather have the Giganotosaurus blueprint for the teeth and the jaws? Now, let's take a look at both of these animals. For the purposes of this video, once again, your comments are going to be vital. It's extremely frustrating that we can't take a peek back into the past and see what would have been. So your comments, they're so insightful. They really keep me going. I really hope if you're watching this video, you'll take the time to write in and let me know your thoughts. But nonetheless, if you're looking at both of these animals, probably T-Rex had a slight weight advantage, but for all intents and purposes, they were more or less about the same size. So again, we're not talking about who would win in a battle. I'm simply talking about what design would you build if you were building the ideal land terrestrial carnivore. Now, if we're looking at Giganotosaurus, the skull is very long, narrow, not nearly as powerful as T-Rex, and the serrated teeth are meant for slicing and tearing off flesh. Now, that has to do with where it lived in time and the prey that it was going after. In preparation for this video, I asked around a lot about the idea of flesh grazing. Do we think that flesh grazing of big theropods like Giganotosaurus may have been true? And, from my own research and knowledge of it, it looks like there is nothing to back up this idea of flesh grazing. Something like Giganotosaurus running up alongside a sauropod, grabbing a hunk of flesh and ripping off. There's nothing to support that, according to a lot of the research that I did and the folks that I reached out to. But nonetheless, the teeth and the skull of Giganotosaurus were designed for ripping and tearing flesh and slicing chunks of flesh out. Now, T-Rex, on the other hand, a far more robust skull, just about the same length. Maybe Giganotosaurus may have had a little bit of a longer skull. Again, we don't know who the biggest individual of either of these species was, so it's hard to say. But again, more or less 5.5 feet long, probably for both of them, the skull length. But the skull of T-Rex was far more robust. It was just bigger, heftier, bigger jaw muscles, just overall more power, more girth, more robustness. Now, the teeth of T-Rex, designed for biting through bone and just delivering a far more devastating bite. It's believed that T-Rex bit down maybe 2 to 3 times more powerful than Giganotosaurus. So possibly, I always say possibly because we're never quite certain what's out there, but as of right now, looks like T-Rex probably had the biggest, most powerful bite of any terrestrial carnivore. And that's really saying something, think about that. Giganotosaurus was no doubt up there, but I do not believe it had anywhere near the powerful bite. Its skull was designed differently. Teeth were designed differently. And if you think about that, that has to do with the prey that these animals were living with. Think about T-Rex. It lived with Triceratops, potentially hunting Edmontosaurus. Edmontosaurs were huge. They were around the size of T-Rex. Think about Triceratops. It had those teeth designed to bite down through the frill of Triceratops, bite down and crush and pulverize through bone. So that's why the teeth of T-Rex are 12 inches long, and it looks like the teeth of Giganotosaurus are 8 inches long. So automatically, T-Rex has longer teeth, and the length of that teeth is just so when the prey is struggling in the mouth, The teeth are firmly rooted in the jaws, and it just overall helps it in taking down its prey. But nonetheless, the topic of this video is really your responses. Your responses are key to all the videos I make. If you were designing the perfect land predator, which design would you rather have? Would you rather have the teeth and the skull of Giganotosaurus for slicing through prey, slicing through flesh, possibly the sauropods that it lived with? Or would you rather have the thick and robust teeth of T-Rex designed for biting down and crunching through bone? As always, I greatly appreciate all the support, and your comments and views mean all the world. So see you in the next video. Take care.